This is the Gift of Gab podcast. I'm your host, Gabrielle, connecting you to the highest and flyest in the Mile High City. Follow me on all major platforms at the Gift of Gab 555. This episode is sponsored by the Ever Collection by K. Michael. Visit evercollection.nyc to get a pair of the flyest eyewear in the game. Tag me on social media in your eyewear for a shout out on the podcast. We hope that you enjoy the show. Now, I would like to introduce our guest, Jimbo, the THC Girls Biggest Fan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to do this, and I'm glad to meet you because currently I don't know you.
Yes, no, when you reached out to me after I made that post, one, I love people that just do what you ask. Like people that send me a message real quick, hey, that's awesome. But my DMs it's harder to filter through those. Right. So you reached out, you had something to talk about, and it was something that I love. And even though I don't know you, I have seen your face at so many different events, and you are always smiling, you're always having a good time, and most of the time you show up in tie-dye, and tie-dye is my favorite. So that's what I knew about you before today.
I can say this, I was recently at a holiday party, and I was the smoking Santa. So there are probably a few pictures out there of me.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait till Christmas time because I'm going to be using them.
The smoking Santa will be reintroduced at Christmas time. I've had an epiphany, and I have to thank Sanjay Ganja for creating that character because she got in touch with me and she said, Jimbo, I need a smoking Santa.
That is so cool. What
size do you wear? So
that is so cool.
Shirt and a hat, and it was a lot of fun.
Honestly, me and her are birthday twins. Me and her were born on the exact same day, exact same year, everything. So I love that I found that out after I had already. She's the only reason that not the only reason that I got into the THC Girls, but what attracted me to the THC Girls. Right. I was like, who is this Sanjay Ganja? And then she has the king herself. And I've always been on that. It's not that I love being a woman. It's not that I'm a man, but I'm the king. Like I'm in charge. That's the same attitude I've always had. So it was just so in alignment as I got to know her, and her catchphrases and her ideas are just immaculate. The smoking Santa. I love that.
Yeah, the smoking Santa. So yeah, I will be
Stay tuned for more.
For smoking Santa. It's a little hot to wear that costume.
I bet. So tell me a little bit more about you and how you came to be around the THC Girls here in this moment, in this podcast, in this industry.
I was kind of fortunate because my best person of 31 years was able to transfer a job out here. So I came out here 9 years ago with nothing, no job, no 50-something years old, and just, she said, hey, I can't do this without you. Our plan was she was going to come out, set it all up, and then I was going to follow after the summer where I would close the business out. And took care of everything back in Texas. Didn't work out that way. 2 weeks before she was supposed to launch, she called me at work and said, I typed up your resume. I can't go without you. Give it to your boss as soon as he walks in.
How
25
cute.
minutes later, I got a call from Human Resources and said, I hear you're leaving. And I said, yes, I'm going to Colorado in exactly 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
So, my best person also told me you could be whatever you want out there. So I naturally, I pursued the industry. It was exciting. It was something that I knew other people my age were not doing. Mm-hmm. And I've always kind of been that person. To want to be around cannabis. I started growing cannabis when I was 14 years old. So I have a long history with cannabis. So when I came out here, it was natural. I fell into get a med card, get a badge, go to work into the industry. And that's where I ran into Krista, owner and operator of THC Girls. That was even prior to her knowing Sanjay Ganja. So I used to trim with Krista in the trim room, and that's how these people started telling me that I needed to hashtag things. I always said I was the kid from Detroit. So they said, you need to hashtag that, you need to get on Instagram. So I thought to myself, okay, that's cool. And then I thought to myself, well, how are you more recognized? Why not latch on to the powers around you? And Krista is a motivator. She's a mover and a shaker. So I said, hashtag, I am the THC Girls #1 fan.
That's awesome.
On the secret side of all that, it's not just the THC Girls #1 fan. I have one favorite, and she doesn't know this yet. I have one favorite, ultimate at the top of the list THC girl, and that is Krista herself. She's the one that I gravitate toward for that energy. She's the one that brings that energy.
She works
what
hard.
I mean? And she works hard to do it. How can I not be involved with that? How can I not get behind that and say, yes, girl, you go. So that's how you become the THC Girls #1 fan.
That's
you
awesome.
get behind it. I'm behind her 100%. You know, and she's behind me too. She appreciates the support. Smokey Santa shows up. Who doesn't love that, you know?
Honestly, that's one of the things I love the most about the THC Girls, is similar to my purpose of just showing love and bringing people up and connecting people with one another that have like mindsets.
Right.
We are, just because you were born in this place or to these people or grew up around these friends, that doesn't mean that that's who you have to be your entire life. And unfortunately, so many people spend their entire lives living someone else's life instead of getting out there. And Krista reminds people that you are something. Let's connect you. Let's get you moving and shaking. Let's do this. And that's what I love about her.
And she's able to connect those people very easily via the app. I mean, Krista,
the highly connected app.
The highly connected app. Krista has, I watched her spend a couple of years getting this together. You know what I mean? Because she started realizing, hey, I know all these people, and it's not just models. We're not just doing smoking events. We're looking at photographers. We're looking at people who put together parties, people who put together events, and she started knowing all these people. So she's like, look, I need to get this. I need to get all these people in a funnel, so we can all collaborate together, so we can all be happy together, so we can all make money together, so we can all just be fun and have friends and just have a network you can count on. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm totally behind that. How can I not be behind that? You know, I can reach out to anyone on the app and they're going to say, you're the THC Girls #1 fan. What is it you need?
Yes.
I can promise you that.
Yeah, that's one other thing that I've always loved, is it just the way that so quickly I'm like, I need this, or I want to do this, and bam, it happens. They're actually the reason I got back connected with Good Times. I had interviewed them on a earlier podcast, and it's just a cool concept. The whole Jello shot idea for me, connecting the alcohol world for people that are not trying to be in the alcohol world anymore, but that's what they're used to. I thought that was awesome. And then the THC Girls got me back connected with them right when I said, well, I still want to work with a couple brands. I still want to be in the industry. I just don't want it to be everything. And bam, there they were. And I just have to think it at this point. I've come to a point with our flow and our alignment between us that it just comes to fruition just by thinking about it. It's pretty cool.
And that's part of the energy that it all brings you, and being in that THC fam, so to speak. You know, it just, you're paying it forward continuously, even if you don't know it.
She told me one thing, I think it was probably almost a year ago. I think it was last summer. And I was frustrated because I don't want to work for somebody else. I don't want a job. I want a movement. I want to be part of something. So I was telling her, I feel like I keep doing all of this stuff for free. I keep doing all this stuff. I keep showing love. I keep showing up. And I'm not seeing the return. And when is it going to come? And she was like, think about what in that situation is still teaching you? Where can you find value around you? And if you can't find it, how can you shift it? And bam, I ended up being a part of history, working for the first cannabis bar in the country. And then bam, I had somebody that I met at that job I was complaining about to her reach out to me and say, hey, you know your name rhymes with dab? I was like, of course. It's like, come do this radio show with me. And here I am. If you would have told me when I was a little girl that I would be reviewing cannabis on the radio, or I'd be on the radio, I would have said, no way. And here I am.
Right.
Here I am. It doesn't always come back in the form of money, even though I always seem to find a way in that realm too, but it comes back in the way of new dreams, new networks of people, new friends, and new all of that. And it's now a year later, I'm like, this is what she was talking about. It comes around. Right. You have to shift your mindset.
And you have to put the time in.
Yeah.
And that's where, I've seen Krista put the time in to things like that. You know what I mean? And that's how she motivates people. That's how she motivates herself. I'm sure she looks at other people and says, hey, look at this go-getter here, and this is what I told this person a year ago. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes I just share it. I'm like, she's the kind of person that celebrates other people's success.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
But sometimes I just send her a random message like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Thanks. Just a quick little, you don't need to text me back. Don't take time out of your day. Just know that your network is growing, and it's a beautiful thing. It's not just, I'm growing my network, I'm making money, but it is a movement, and it makes people in this industry, this cannabis industry, other forms, because a lot of the events now are very open to CBD, to other ways we use the plants, to psilocybin, all these different things. And she let the avenue she's creating in this app, like, these are real jobs. We are doing real things for real people. It is not just, oh, you guys are a bunch of stoners and you guys don't get anything done.
Right.
It gives us look how professional we can still be while we might show up late or be a little cashed eyes. Like, we're still doing big things. And I love that, because so much of my life I've been smoking since I was 15. I'm from here. It's been a long time, and everybody has always kind of discredited me and just, she's just a stoner, she's just a pothead. And I'm like, look at me now.
Right. And that feels good, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about how these different plant medicines play a role in your life.
A while back, and I'm going to say probably 16 years ago, someone very close to me started suffering headaches that they had been suffering for years. And I said, you need weed. And I had not touched cannabis in 15, 20 years prior to that. And I said, you need weed. That's what's going to help. So I called a friend of mine, and for $50, I got 2 grams bubble gum. And that kind of made me say, this is real. Mm-hmm. I was right. Unknowingly, I was right. This provided relief for this person. Mm-hmm. So how do you stop paying $50 for 2 grams and give this person all that medicine they need? Mm-hmm. You start growing weed in the closet. Yep. That's just how it's done. Yep. You know what I mean? So I did that for a long time. And the more I did that, the more I saw the change in this person, the more I saw a change in myself, because then it was a medicine thing for me on top, pain relief and things like that, but it was also a bonding thing between me and this person. Some people will ask you, they ask me all the time, what's the best weed you ever smoked? And I always say, I hope I haven't smoked it yet. But it's not just about that. It's about who you're with and the time, the experience, and the setting, and the whole experience. What the music was or what the music wasn't. Mm-hmm. Maybe there was no music. What the lights were. Maybe there were no lights. So that being said, I mean that set me on a journey. I was fortunate enough to land here in Colorado, get badged, working to grow, trim manager, jumped into managing dispensary. That's for someone else.
I agree. Managing people.
But the further time clicked along, the CBD stuff started coming in, and I kind of was tired of the industry a little bit. Not necessarily the people, but just the way
The direction it was.
Not the entire, just the direction that people in general get a mindset, so to speak. You know what I mean? To not be too specific. You know, and I'm like, well, you guys are just feeding off of each other, and this is not what I need. So, and CBD was a lot newer back. I'm talking 6 years ago. So I had a friend of mine who said, hey, I work for a CBD company. This is what we do. And I'm like, okay, let me look into this CBD stuff. And I did, and I was like, it's the same as THC, just on a different plane. THC is not for everyone. CBD is not for everyone. I was just Instagram messaging a lady today because she said that CBD didn't work on her dog. And I said, look, I'm not trying to sell you CBD. I work for a large CBD company, and I just want to make sure that you got the right brand. That you truly did get CBD for your dog, because there is a lot of stuff out there that maybe is not what it says it is. I haven't experienced any of that, but I know other people do. You know, and some people shop brand specific, just like you drink Coca-Cola, or you drink a certain bottled water, you eat a certain food. By the way, I work for CB Distillery. A lot of people ask me information about CBDs, and I always refer them to the website. These people have spent thousands of hours and probably millions of dollars in research, and that, to me, that's my source. When I need to know about the new, what is CBDA, I go straight to CB Distillery website, and they will explain.
That's CB Distillery.
Yes.
I like that. At first, my brain was having a hard time. I was reading it. I was like, it says CBD.
It says yes.
I like that. CB Distillery. Okay. Keep going.
So that kind of shifted things for me, because now I was involved in something else.
Yes.
I had always kind of been this THC formulation type guy. I did my own stuff, my own oils, potions, and mixes at home. The CBD world opened that up even more for me, because that's exactly what I do for CB Distillery. I mix the potions.
The mixologist over here, if you will.
Right. So, and that led me to, well, how could I utilize this? Does it help me? Does it help other people? And I started exploring that, just as I explored the THC, and I started figuring out, it is not for everyone. It is, some people say, oh, I do all this and I do all that, and nothing seems to happen, nothing seems to change. They say the same thing about THC. I have a friend of mine, when she uses THC, her pain increases. So it's not for her. And I'm not the guy to tell her that it is, that,
I read something today that said something about, if you don't like that healthy food, then it's not healthy for you. If your body tries to reject it, listen,
Yes.
So while it might not be for you, it still helps a lot of people, but maybe not everyone, and that's okay.
And that's okay. That's why we have soy milk and almond milk. And, not everyone can.
We got options.
Yeah, we have options, and it doesn't work for everyone. CBD and THC, the exact same thing. Exact same thing.
Yeah.
I tell people sometimes it is about the dosing. How do you, did you take enough? Did you take too much? When I worked in the dispensary, I was selling those gummies to this lady, and she came in one day and she said, 10 milligrams is just too strong for me. And I said, well, all you have to do is get a pair of scissors and just cut that gummy in half. And she was like, you can do that? I said, yes, ma'am, you can, because you bought them. You own. I said, you can cut slivers off of them. Just figure out what your dose is, because a lot of people don't take the time to do that. And
yes.
I suggest people do. If someone says, take the medicine for 30 days and then let me know how you are, they mean take it every day for the 30 days. They don't mean, oh, I missed 3 days, or I missed 2 days, or, I lost interest after 10 days because I didn't feel anything. Get it in you.
You have to build it up. It's the same. I mean, it's pretty universal when you try something new, whether it be a diet, whether it be a medication, whatever it is. Your body has to adjust first, and you don't know how it interacts with other things you're doing as well. That's one thing about I've started to do in being more conscious with cannabis and THC, is not just, oh, I got this gummy, oh, I got this blunt, like just going like all day long, going, how am I supposed to tell the effects of each one?
Right.
Now I pretty much make everything a whole ritual. I say thank you to it. I ask the cannabis people to guide me, and it's a whole different experience when you do it that way. And my body now is used to it, so I can see the difference. But when you do too much cannabis, it's not as beneficial, I think, as when you find that right amount, where you find where you actually feel better, where you actually are more creative, not when you smoke too much and you just fall asleep or you can't even think.
Well, for me, that's where everyone talks about this entourage effect, and they like to say the word entourage too, by the way. But for me, that's where the CBD works for me. I can honestly say, and I do, and I have done this in the past even, I take like tolerance breaks. I won't do anything, and then I'm going to try this. It's hard to get people to do that, you know, especially coming from the home remedy side of it, where I came from. You know, people are like, well, I put a little bit in some cookies and it didn't work, and I'm like, okay, maybe there's something else. Did you you know, I don't know what you did.
It could be the way that you cooked it too. I don't there's so many factors
on your end, you know. So
well, that's kind of nice when you have like actual products. I feel there's two types of people. There's people that like to create and do their own thing. I'm one of those people. I want to take what you have and I want to create something that works for me with it. Like CBD, I would like to take drops and put it into my tea that has other benefits. Do this or do that. But other people want a cut and dry, tell me what to do so I can do it.
You have to learn. I mean, there's no science to it. You know, I can't tell you whether you're going to like a pepperoni pizza or not.
Exactly.
Until you just
try it.
Well, yeah, you have to try it. You have to experience. And I think a lot of people just don't take that initiative.
Yep.
You know, they just don't. You know, that's why the entourage effect kind of works for me, because.
And so I'll touch a little bit, since we've talked about cannabis and CBD. How do you use each product? Like, what is your preferred way to use?
THC I ingest via joints.
Okay, joints.
My favorite way to do it. A lot of people say it's very wasteful.
That was the word of the week this week, so I love it that you said joint.
It's very wasteful, and you burn it on, and so that is my preferred method for THC. And my preferred method for CBD is a 30 milligram caplet. I take one of those a day. I have used CBD. This is 83 milligram per dose.
Okay.
I have double dosed on that for insomnia.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say it just helped me a little bit. I'm not saying it'll help you. I'm not saying it'll help everyone, but it helped me a little bit. And if you're suffering from insomnia, an extra 20 to 40 minutes makes a whole different life for you.
Okay.
So if you are, in my case, I had to have a huge dose to help me with that, because that's what I was chasing at that time.
So that's why you like the soft gels, because it just kind of it hits you. It does what you need.
It just keeps it in me. I
like
in me
that.
Every day.
Okay.
It's a daily. I take other daily stuff. I take iron, and I take a few prescription things that I must take. So it falls right into.
What about like topicals? Do you use any? My favorite CBD product that I've used was a topical for like sore muscles, and I changed my view on CBDs after I used this particular product, because I could clearly feel the difference.
I'm glad you said that, because CB Distillery has a topical product called CB Doll.
CB Doll.
That is my. I wish I had a sample for you here, because that is my preferred for joint pain.
Okay.
Ankles, feet, neck, hands. Yes.
Yeah.
That would be my preferred type. Even spilling over into the THC world, I would say CB Distillery CB Doll is probably better than
than some of those.
Than some of the THC products that I've tried. For me, it is.
Yeah, I personally, I haven't tried too many. I've tried a couple of the THC products, but this one CBD product for specifically muscle pain, it was mentholated, it hit, and I was like, this is the one for me. And it's something that while I feel like CBD makes me feel calm when I take it the ingestible way. The same like you said, I take vitamins and supplements every day. It's a part of my life. So I feel like it has benefits that I can't even feel for that way. But I do like when people are having an external pain, I'm anti-pain medication. I don't really like to take it unless I absolutely have to. So
put it directly on the spot that hurts.
Yes, and it works. It works. Even it just works. It's something
I'm going to flip you to that CB doll. You wait and see.
Awesome. I can't wait.
It is by far my favorite product.
Yes.
And I do use it as a topical.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm glad that I asked them because the topicals are some of my favorites. So we've touched on CBD and THC. Are there any other kind of plant medicines that you've used in your journey?
Yes. Currently, for the last probably 5 months, I've been microdosing mushrooms, psychedelics.
My favorite.
I microdose 0.2 grams 3 times a week.
Okay.
I looked at it hard. I looked at it without the CBD and the THC, kind of taking a little break from that stuff. And I figured out that it definitely helps me with anxiety. I'm definitely calmer. And if I'm calmer, then my pain level is down because I suffer from chronic pain. So that calms me down. I don't know if it's really helping with the pain, but being calm when you're in pain helps. That's why the nurse will tell you need to relax a little bit. You just need to breathe, So I would say, yeah, it does help with pain. If it's calming my mind and it's, I don't feel the pain at that time, it does. Helps tremendously with meditation. I recently learned how to meditate about 1.5 years ago, and I was pretty good at it. I was like out there in different worlds and things like that, for lack of a better term. And it kind of scared me a little bit because I was like, hey, is this real or am I making it up? And when I started microdosing the mushrooms, I seemed to have a little more control of.
Yes.
It's like having a control of your dream. Okay. So when you come out of the meditation, I was no longer questioning myself. I was like, I was really there. I really floated, or I really flew, or
could be another lifetime. You have no idea.
Yeah. So, I was really cold, or whatever the situation was. I couldn't tell you. It's not as vivid as a dream, but that helped tremendously. Which, the more you meditate, the more you want to relax, the more you can get to therapies, the more you can get to your exercise, the more you can get to your mind, the more you can get to realizing. For lack of a better term, you have a few epiphanies. You know what I mean? You just do, because it's helped put the other things out of your mind. And you're like, well, this has been right in front of me all this time. Why haven't I seen this? Because you haven't tried those psychedelics yet. And
that's my favorite.
You know what I mean?
That's my favorite thing about microdosing is, and just mushrooms in general, is I am an earth baby. I love connecting with nature and connecting to my inner wisdom and knowledge that most people never tap into because they don't slow their mind down. They don't step out of the matrix. They don't experiment with things because they're told they are bad their whole life. And in my experiences, I have these moments where things literally, it feels like it's clicking in my brain, and I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what you need to do. And I'm asking myself, God, whatever you believe in, I'm just asking, and I can get the answers. Now that I'm older, I started trying all these things a long time ago in a more party setting. And what I will say is that party setting, it can be fun if you are around people you can trust. I'm not knocking social gatherings, but a lot of these plant medicines, you really learn the value of them when you slow down, you try them, and you get to know yourself and how they are helping you. Not, oh my gosh, let's go eat an eighth of mushrooms in the mountains and wig out, homie. Like, that's fun for a time and place, but you're not going to get the same benefits as you will from figuring out, hey, this is this, and then spending time meditating, spending time really getting to know, is this THC that is helping me? Is this psychedelics that is helping me? And more recently, I have learned about this breath work, and it is crazy because my first breath work ceremony that I did, it felt like I was almost as potent as LSD. It felt like I was tripping from breathing for 90 minutes, just breathing. It's free. And it's
free.
It's amazing what your body can do if you tap into it and you use it as a medicine and how your body needs it. And that's my favorite part about mushrooms, is it is a way that you can tap into that stuff you can tap into it without the help, but it's harder. It aids in tapping into this calmness, this deeper side of the world. And for me, being in nature, it's just, I wish it could always, and some days it does always look like that, but I always think it's funny when I come out of a mushroom experience and I look at my camera roll, because it doesn't, why did I take a picture of this rock like 10 times? Well, it was an amazing rock a little bit ago, but it just helps to tap you into some of those things and tap you into your body, I feel like.
Oh, definitely. Mm-hmm. Speaking of breathing, I just recently learned how to do a few breathing exercises, and it came real hard. I had to really focus and concentrate on. I don't anymore. Sometimes I'm driving the car and I realize, hey, you're doing a breathing exercise.
Yes.
So just breathing can be good medicine for you. I'm not really that health spokesperson, so to speak. I'm a double cheeseburger with bacon kind of guy. But
balance.
Sometimes simply breathing can help. And sometimes when you take THC a little further than you should, sometimes you just need to breathe.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't call I tell people sometimes don't call 911, because you're just going to end up on the internet looking crazy. Just breathe. And for me, it was something that I had to learn, believe it or not. I had to learn how to breathe. And now I just do it as part of life. Taking CBDs.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about, is just, we have all these tools, we have all these medicines, and I feel like education and just speaking about it is step number one. I feel like a lot of people just don't know about it, but just forming your own experiences and your own opinions. You don't listen. Even sometimes, I'm not saying all doctors. Googling it. Yes, that's what I was going to say. Like WebMD, don't look it up on there. Like nothing. Don't look it up on there.
Ask people who have done it. Ask people who have tried it. Ask the professionals. Get someone that's reputable. There's
people out there.
There are people out there.
And that's my mission. I've been doing my best to connect. I was at that Shroomski brunch, and I can't remember the name of the company, but I'm going to get them on here soon. But they help with harm reduction within the community. And, Mothers Against Drunk Driving might look at them like they are enabling a community. But what I saw was people providing education for people and giving you a safe space to make sure that if you're going to try that, it's safe and you know what it is. It's not something that somebody else got. And if you have an adverse effect or a bad time, here are things you can do. And here are people that actually care about you that you can call and that can help you through it.
You're not at some festival laying in the field.
Yes, because that stuff is going to still happen. So I just was amazed at their mission and the way that they were giving back to the community in a way of educating people instead of shaming people for wanting to try these things. You can argue with me as much as you want. God made all of these things, especially the plant medicines. Like, we're supposed to be using them as we need,
If you're going to eat them, to utilize them, why wouldn't you utilize them in other ways?
Yes, I love that. So we've touched a lot on plant medicine. Do you have any kind of other ventures, other things that you do within the community?
I work every day for a CBD company.
Nice.
I've connected with a lot of people out here. I have people that I call them the THC people because they all come from the industry, and then I have the CBD people, and I really want to bring some of those people together, just these people that I've noticed, and I wanted to step out and try to do my own podcast. So I decided, I guess about a year and a half ago, that I was just going to do some YouTube videos. By the way, you should watch my YouTube videos.
I'm all about it.
And you should definitely smoke when you watch them, okay?
How do we find you on YouTube?
Jimbo's John.
Jimbo's John.
Yes, you find me Jimbo's John.
Jimbo's John. I will be following.
I do advise the use of cannabis before you do that, because I just wanted to figure out if I could do it. Can I talk? Can I be in the camera? Can I? So I sat in the car by myself and I smoked a little bit, and I just told some old stories.
That's so great.
They're fun. You'll enjoy them. Please keep in mind.
I'm all about it. I have quite a bit of videos where it's just me talking, and people are like, "How do you do that?" Oh, it takes practice, but I want to do this. I want to spread a message. I want to connect people. I want to show everybody these awesome entrepreneurs that I keep running into, and I can't do that unless I just break out of that shell and just practice. And sometimes I'm very careful not to put out things that don't represent me, but being a little bit high on camera sometimes, that's out there.
That's where my hesitation has been, really going public, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because I'm just not. I wasn't sure, and then once I observed me, I'm like, you're just a regular guy, man. They're gonna be into it.
That's what people connect to.
Change the channel, you know. So I'm kind of working on that. I'm kind of working on incorporating my THC people with my CBD people, so to speak, to see if we can form even a bigger family.
Yeah.
Because I have the THC family, and then I have the CBD family, and we could be bigger.
Yeah.
There's those paths I want to cross, for sure.
Yeah, no, and another thing I see you out here doing a lot is supporting small business. So
Absolutely.
tell me a little bit about small business to you, and why you're out, because I see you everywhere supporting everybody.
We recently talked about this with a couple of friends of mine, and I came to the conclusion, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of people out there that say you need to give them a thumbs up, you need to give them a like, you need to do this, you need to do that. For me, it is, you need to purchase the merch.
Yep.
Or you need to purchase whatever it is they're doing. If they're selling hamburgers, you need to go
monetarily support first off.
I frequent a head shop called Daddy Danks.
Daddy Danks.
And I support them.
Yeah.
And they support me. They just recently sent me some love, liking my dog pictures. If you want to get next to me, you like my dog pictures, you're going to get next to me, you know?
That's awesome.
And they're a small business. And they're on the opposite side of town for where I live. But because of the people and what I'm looking for in particular is Juicy J papers, that's what I go there for. And every time I go there, they're like, here he comes. Let's get the Juicy J's, because they know that's what I'm going to head for.
Yep.
So yeah, I do support small businesses.
That's awesome.
I think it's necessary that you can't just touch the screen for them. You need to go, even if you just go see them. Even
Show
if you
up.
Just say, hey.
Showing up means so much. People put so much effort into these things that they put on for you. They really do.
And it is hard. I understand it is hard to be the person to show up, because it is hard. It is hard to say, let's stop what I'm doing, drive across town, see my friend. He's at a flea market today. A friend of mine selling CBDs at a flea market today. It's hard for me to get to that, you know what I mean? And he understands that, and I understand that because I've spoken to him. But to be the silent follower of someone, just giving them a thumbs or giving them Ask them a question.
Yep.
Be a little more interested in what they're doing. Hey, I see that you grow these plants. Do you ever grow pepper plants? Because if you ask them a question, you're socializing. I learned that in the last 2 years. Scrolling. How did I get to know you? I socialized a little bit. I said, well, let's look at this. Oh, heart that. Oh, look at a radio show. Oh, I didn't know that before. Heart that one too. You have to socialize. You can't just be the stalker. You can't just.
Yes.
You can, but if you're trying to put yourself out there or put a message out there.
That's one thing I really noticed when I was starting to try to build a network was not standing out. There are so many people. It doesn't mean that what you're doing and you as an individual is not an amazing person, but what are you doing to set yourself apart from everybody else, to get noticed when you go these places, to truly go out and support. I started by, sometimes when I first see somebody, I'll just order something from their shop online. Then I'll wear it. Then I'll take a picture. Sometimes people are not, it doesn't turn out to be what you think. Well, cool. I still love my earrings, move on. But 90% of the time, I've already done that. I'm sharing a picture of theirs. Now, all of a sudden, I got a message in my inbox. Wow, who are you? This and that. I find out more information a couple times down the road. Oh, I'm doing this event. Oh, do you want to come model in my fashion show and get your brand out there? Come be a part of it. And I'm like, wow, all of that from trying to find local businesses to support and hitting that like button, hitting that follow button, going to that website, checking it out. I'm not going to buy things I don't like. I'm not wasting my time and my energy, but a little bit goes a long way. And generally these people, these small business owners, when you show love, it comes back tenfold.
It does.
They want to show love and get you involved too.
It always does. And I was just telling the gentleman here in this restaurant, which I won't mention, if you keep it real, people will remember you. Because I asked him, I said, you don't remember me? And he said, yes, I do remember you. And I said, do you know why? Because I keep it real. And he says, you're always real. Because it had like a flood of memories of me because I do come here often. So if you keep it real, it comes back around. It comes back around. It just does.
And then eventually you get inspired and you start your own things. And I'm telling you, with these small business owners, that network are some of my biggest supporters. And people think that I've known all these people for so long. I am from Colorado and I've always been out here, but I was on the dark side of this industry for a long time. So I didn't photograph things. I didn't talk to strangers. I only people I could trust, Here I am now. Everybody knows me in a positive way, not in a negative way. And it's these small business owners that are like, look at her, go check out her podcast. Let's go do this. Let's go. And all of that came from just showing a little bit of love. And I genuinely actually like these people. I genuinely meet people and I'm like, wow, we are so aligned. We're on the same mission. Let's do this. You're a reflection of me and let's go. I love it. Sue, tell me, I just want to know a couple of your favorite spots in Colorado. I'd love to give my listeners a little bit about something they can do if they are thinking of traveling to Colorado or if they live here. You mentioned a smoke shop, Daddy Dank.
Daddy Danks.
So that was one spot. If you were into head shops, that was one.
Daddy Danks. I go to the one on Jewel. Tell them the Juicy J guy sent you. Because that's how they know me the best. I do favor Snarf's Burgers.
Ooh.
On 26th and Federal, that's usually where I go. It's a double burger with cheese for me every time. Speaking of showing them love, I did show them love because it's like in my grocery budget to go to Snarf's because I truly enjoy it. And I'm like, well, I'm up here all the time. I made a couple of little videos. All of a sudden, I sent them to Snarf's. All of a sudden, they're like, hey, we want to send you some gratitude. They sent me a couple of free burgers.
That's awesome.
Back up there making more videos, and that came from, I truly love to go there,
Yeah.
If it's my pick, say, hey, you can eat whatever you want tonight, I'm going to go to Snarf's usually.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a place I recommend. That's an eating spot, obviously. I have lots of eating spots I recommend here in Colorado. I recommend Breakfast on Broadway. That's an awesome spot. Have you ever been there?
I have not, and I love...
you need to go. We should do another podcast from there.
Okay.
It's really crowded. It's going to be noisy, but it'll be fun. Where else do I go? I like to go up to Estes, but I've lived here long enough to know you shouldn't go at certain times.
Yep.
So, as a native, I'm sure you know, but I do love to go up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do anything in particular up there except for
just enjoy the view.
Just
I'm one of those people that likes to just go on blunt drives. I enjoy the drive just as much as any other. Like, I get to drive up to Stove Prairie Ranch, which is behind Fort Collins in the mountains, for a job tomorrow, and I'm so excited because the drive up there is great. It's just fun to drive. Yeah,
what you're going to see is spectacular. You know,
you don't even have to have a destination.
Well, I tell people sometimes I live in vacation land. I really do, because I could just drive into the city of Denver, drive around for 25-30 minutes smoking, and then go home, and I'm like, wow,
what did
I see? I saw everything and nothing. You know what I mean? Because I find Denver to be very diverse, and I like that it's so diverse.
It's never really a dull moment.
You can be whoever you want out here.
I love that.
And I am whoever I want to be out here. And I love to see the other people that are being whoever they want to be out here.
That's what my aunt used to tell me. She's lived in Denver for quite a while. I'm from Fort Collins. So when I wanted to move out here, I just saw the memory. It's been 8 years since I moved out to Denver. And she mentioned to me that I can be whoever I want to be out here. And it's not like in Fort Collins, the small town, you see everybody you know everywhere you go. Out here, you can literally... Yes, if you go to an industry event, you're going to see all the same people. But you can go eat over here on Federal and then go over somewhere in Aurora and then go over here. And you could be 10 different people in a day and nobody knows. Nobody cares. They just smile at you when they walk by.
You can wear what you want.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing about out here, too. Ooh, that's awesome. Estes Park, Breakfast on Broadway. Any other mentions before we...
No, I'll save those for next time, maybe.
Awesome. I love it, getting ready for next time, because we'll definitely have to have a next time, because this conversation flowed. It's really easy.
It does flow. It's been real easy. It's been real good talking to you.
I can't believe I'm about to have to wrap it up. I want to know. My phone is even telling me, like, hey, you only have a little bit longer. So where can we find you? We had the Jimbo's John on YouTube.
Yes, you also have Jimbo's hashtag John on Instagram. You also have Jimbo. I'm sorry, not hashtag Jimbo underscore.
Oh.
John.
Okay.
Jimbo underscore Barber, BARBOUR. You can email me at jimbobarber@gmail.com.
Nice. I got that one.
Where else can you find me? Snarf Burgers. I go there quite often.
Snarf Burgers. An occasional event or two.
An occasional event or two. I'm looking forward to some events that are coming up that I'm going to... maybe I'll bring the Smoking Santa out a little sooner than anticipated.
I mean, Christmas in July is a thing. Sure. That's really a thing that they do. So, you might be really hot, but maybe we could find a place with AC.
That would work.
For sure. Any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
My last thoughts are: be nice to yourself, be nice to other people. Remember, you are sometimes that asshole in traffic, the one that you're always cussing at. You do make a U-turn when you shouldn't. Just remember that and calm down. Remember who you love. If your mom's still around, please call her. Because when she's not, you're going to wish you did. And I'll just leave it at that.
That was amazing. Well, thank you all for listening and making it this far. That was Jimbo, the THC Girls Biggest Fan. We'll definitely have him back. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to follow us at the Gift of Gab _podcast. And as always, stay safe, stay high, and stay fly.